Magandang hapon. Nakikinig kayo sa Radyo Kapwa, CKUT 90.3 FM. We're all Filipinos are Filipino enough.
Magandang hapon! Nakikinig po kayo sa Radyo Kapwa on CKUT 90.3 FM. Fran Stoner here, so excited to have you, and joined in studio by Desiree Ruiz, Veronica Bertiz, and Fenny Cristo, making sure that we sound super smooth. Really excited to be interviewing Joseph Espinosa today, who is a multi-passionate creative who just wears many hats, and we're just going to let him introduce himself because there's so many things that he wants to talk about with us today. So welcome, Radio Kapwa.
To me, that's so I'm really trying to figure out right now.
That's real.
I find a lot of times that like I get onto teams or into scenarios or working with groups that it's kind of like it's what I'm looking for. It's responding to like these things that really are like intrinsical to me, like what I feel I need, what I'm really looking for in life, but not the whole kind of picture. So that becomes a very big thing of like changing hats. And I can say like from a mental health perspective, it's taken me a long time to change my perspective on it from being like, oh, you never finish anything or you keep on giving up on things, and actually being like, you know what, each moment of something that you were able to be part of was a great learning experience. And the time that you shared while you were there, no one would have been able to give the energy like you gave. And now that you're moving on to something else, you can take these amazing lessons with you towards like, you know, bettering the future. So when it comes down to go back to answering the question, wearing a lot of hats, like just that age old saying, jack of all trades, master of none, something better than master of one, blah blah blah, yada yada, huda huda. Not blah 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 for sure, because that's a bar in itself that's standed the test of time. But I feel that in a sense. I feel that through my upbringing and through everything I've experienced in life, it's just kind of made me ready to be a low-key Swiss Army knife for any situation.
I love that. That's amazing.
I love that too, because you're not the only one of us. Again, there's so much pressure on what do you do? What, like, to sum up everything in a title, in, a term that can be understood by other people, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, there's so many things that came up for me. It's like, it just sounds like you're really passionate. It sounds like you're really passionate and you follow your passions, and they don't always have to be the same thing. But we live in a society where it's like, finish one thing, stay in one lane.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm like kind of like what like everyone's. I guess that's another thing we love. We're always looking for a exact definition of everything. What exactly is it? What exactly is that? And it's kind of like that becomes the beauty of life, is that any being or any life on this planet that kind of like has a soul will constantly evolve through time. You're never going to be the same person. Sometimes I'll meet you this week, and the person I met last week that was in your exact same shoes, wasn't exactly you. You know what I mean? Not the exact representation of who you are now. Maybe something that you learn in regards.
I love that.
But if I can just maybe relieve a little bit of ambiguity around it, the main thing that I do is I do work at Mano Figa, which is the cafe attached to Mano Cornudo, owned by Vito Choca, by James Barron, by Tyler Mayer, and Alex Ragusis. Was working for, I'd say, about half a year on the Cornudo side in the restaurant in the big house. And I think we all recognized how the cafe had a really specific identity and had a really phenomenal team working there. Actually, when I started working at Figa, it was an all-female team of just crazy, just like killers. These ladies knew exactly what they were doing. They knew exactly how to put everything together so that the ship just ran and like sailed as smooth as possible. Steph Palucci is still there working with me. It was Elizabeth Malte at the time who was the manager. And yeah, it was a really great time, and we really recognized with the guys that, you know what, Joseph, you have such this amazing amount of energy that you put out on the cornuto side, that maybe some, not all of our clients, like the, you know, the clients that are more used to the Rob Clark, who is our sommelier there, who is really a great leader. I call him the Arsene Wenger of our team there, because he's such a great coach in regards of how to approach the dining room and service with a very white glove kind of approach. So, you know, we all kind of realize that, you know, all this energy that you have, sometimes it's not applied to every transaction or interaction with all of our clients, because some of our clients are going to look for something a bit more classic, a bit more white glove. But they're like, check out the cafe, because this is an area where you can express yourself. You know what I mean? They know my background working in professional sports and equipment management, and also just like how in that regard, it's a lot of just like setting a vibe. So now I'm up in the cafe, just whipping out lattes, a nice silky milk to some. Usually we have some current trap music, some hip hop music playing in the background, some basketball on the TV. We like to watch some classic Jordan from time to time, and just the guys really gave me this space to express myself and be myself, and also like a classic Italian cafe environment, which is cool because, like, you know, when you grow up in the east end of Montreal, like I did, Milanos or Chicharos or even Gervasi's, like these spots become places where you frequent. And there's this kind of like, it's not necessarily an attitude the baristas give you, but it's like, oh, do you know what you want in life, or do you not know what you want? Figure it out. And when you do, we'll give you that. But until then, come on, man.
Oh yeah, and it's like, what are your milk alternatives? And it's like
Yeah.
2%
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
or extra fat. Like that's
Yeah.
full. That's those are your options. There's no oat, there's no soy.
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, it's the times have changed. It's a sign of times changing for old Italian men to be like, okay, give them oat milk, fine, fine, do it. But for sure, yeah, exactly. And we all remember those experiences. Sometimes I think people get happy that a place like Starbucks came around. They're like, oh, I can go into a place and just order coffee without this crazy Italian man screaming at me.
So I love how we kind of just jumped into it and jumped into hospitality because that's so like cultural. So I don't know if you know, but Desiree and I actually have a long, long career in the food and beverage industry. And we actually know Vito from him being a busboy at first. So he's come a very long way and we're absolutely very proud. We were a part of the nightlife for a really long time and moved into other things, but are super, super grateful for that nightlife family. I did not know Rob Clark finally finished sommelier school, so that's
Yes,
amazing. I
sir.
knew Rob Clark as a bartender. I knew him, so it's really interesting to hear about and see people's growth. So that's really really great.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear about you just talked a lot about Italian coffee shops and the hospitality and growing up in the East End. And, you know, I mentioned to you before, I'm raising a mixed race kid, and, you know, that could be confusing too. But, like, in what ways have you seen similarities of Filipino culture? You know, I'm thinking Italian hospitality. Sometimes I walk in and I feel right at home, right? So,
Yeah.
in what ways have you seen that Filipino culture in what you do? And in what ways do you infuse what you do with your Filipino culture?
Well, it's I feel like that basis of family is always there. And it becomes more of like, you know, when you have your kuyas, you have your ates, you have titos, titas, you know what I mean? This is like an idea that you learn as a young Pinoy boy growing up. That's kind of like, oh, it's not exactly your aunt, but this is your tita. You know what I mean? Oh, it's not exactly your uncle, but this is your tito. This is your tita. You know what I mean? And then you get to understand that idea. And then as you grow up, you see that happen in other milieus. We have this joke at Mano where like someone comes in, they're like, "I'm Vito's cousin." I'm like, "Yeah, everyone's Vito's cousin. Congratulations, man." Like, what do you? I don't know what you, you know what I'm saying, but I use that joke, but I laugh because I'm just like, I understand exactly what you mean. And so I know also lots of times when you say that to people, they're like, they think automatically they go into maybe not the most beautiful part of themselves, and they feel a little bit judged and they feel a bit whatever. But that's also a part of infusing the Pinoy inside the situation, just being like, I get it. I'm just joking with you. It's completely fine. I'd say the way that I infuse that Filipino kind of vibe into the space is it's actually kind of funny. It's like one of the ways that I met Terry. Like sometimes when somebody shows up to our doorstep and I see, hey, yo, I know this person. It doesn't matter the color of their skin. I'm like, I know that you're a person of culture. You're coming from somewhere that has a little bit more kind of flavor infused to everything that it is that you're doing, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So I'll sometimes take that person aside and be like, hey, yo, I might not be taking care of your table, but I see what y'all are up to, and I'm gonna come through and make sure that we give you guys a tailored experience to kind of like where you're coming from. Because even though we're all talking English here, I think we speak a different language than everyone else in the room. So we're gonna kiki it up real good. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna take care of you. And that's kind of what happened with Terry. He walked through the front door, and I was just like, "You're Filipino."
Huh.
You're a Pinoy boy. And he's just like, yeah, man. I'm like, give me a second. We're going to talk. I got you. I got you. Like, we get this. And then from there, it really built up what's becoming like a beautiful friendship and a great partnership. You know, for me, when I find people who are doing beautiful things that mean a lot more than just themselves, and it's really a selfless act, I'm like, I'm all in. So that's why pretty much the way that I'm like, jumping in with Terry now. I'm just like, man, you need me to host something, like let me know. You just need help with something, let me know, because I see the work that's being done, and I see how important it is as well.
I love that. And I just want to shout out to Filipinos of Montreal, the folks at Filipinos of Montreal, because I mean, this is our 60th episode, and there's so many people here that have either met at their events. I mean, I was able to reconnect with friends a few years ago through Filipinos of Montreal, which became like this, it catapulted me into my decolonization journey and reconnecting to my Filipino identity. And that is through the work of Filipinos of Montreal. So I just wanted to take a minute to shout out all of the amazing work that you do. I hope they're listening.
To the entire team, Filipinos in Montreal, I got you.
Yeah.
Oh, the laughs that we share at my expense, sometimes it's completely fine. But I love that entire group, that entire crew, man.
They're amazing. They're amazing. I'm just curious, Joseph, as you were talking, I mean, listening, hearing that you grew up in the East End, your connection with the Italian community, and then you had said something at the beginning, and it sounds like you're also, again, like most of us here, it's like myself, like reconnecting to your identity, reconnecting to the community, at your own pace and in your own way, right? So I'm just curious to know, what was your upbringing like? Like, what was your connection to the Filipino community? What was this, because I'm curious to know, and I feel like a lot of people might be able to connect and would love to know as well.
Well, it was, I want to say it was rough kind of growing up as a Filipino kid in RDP, going to Leonardo da Vinci Elementary School. It's funny, until years later, you don't find out, oh, there's Portuguese people out here. There's Latinos that were out here. You know what I mean? There's so many different people, but it's just like Italian becomes such the modus operandi for everyone, that everyone's bro this, bro that, blah blah blah, and it was definitely an interesting time growing up as a kid, because I was like, oh, this is cool, but I always knew it was from '94 that I knew, like, yo, this is something strange. Like when Italy lost to Brazil in '94 in the World Cup, and Baggio sent that penalty kick soaring, and I was like, I felt bad. I was like, oh no, Italy lost. That's ow. And then I was kind of like, why ow, actually? Because like my friends are hurting about it. And then like, where's my connection to something like that from a genuine place? You know what I mean? And then that's kind of also around the same time start playing ball in PBAM. So the week usually looked like me spending time in the East End, and then the weekend would be like family time, either in the West Island, or it would be, my father, Fredo Espinosa, was like really, really involved with Bini Montreal for a very, very long time. So we'd do that as a kid. And then I started playing basketball in PBAM, trying to kind of following up in my cousin Paulie's footsteps. So it was always like this give and take, where like during the week I'm like the this is the joke that I say is like I'm the Chinese guy with the Italians, because for them, like Filipino, I remember it took such a long time for people to like I literally had some homies be like, Philippines is like that's in South America, right? And I'd be like, um that's rough, man, but you know what I mean? Like that also comes with, I end up understanding that becomes part of the part of like what comes on your shoulders, pause, or like what's on your back is like being part of a specific culture, is you end up learning how to show people, you know, yourself, and through showing yourself, showing your culture, and also making them understand that. So yeah, it was a lot of, you know, growing up with the bros during the week, and then during the weekend would be more time in the community, whether it be Kahira, whether it be even when I was a kid and I was like doing Pearl of the Orient and stuff like that. You know what I mean? There would always be something going on in Uptown that we'd find ourselves doing with the, you know, me and my parents and then my grandparents, and or like a family gathering and so on and so forth. So that was kind of like low key the upbringing, to be honest. And it's funny. I was saying. So usually I was like the Chinese kid with the Italians because they just didn't care. And then during the weekend, you know, it was this other thing where, you know, I remember my Tito Jake Magiga at one point, he came, he was like, you know, if anybody comes to you and tells you, hey, you're not Filipino, because you're so white, you know, just tell them that your last name's Espinosa, and you know who my uncle is. I'm like, okay, Tito, that's cool, that's cool. And I honestly never had to deal with that because I was in the PBAM and in kids club where I really started playing, and like my parents were part of like the organizing team there. Just love and acceptance, and you know what I mean, it was just what we call nowadays just like pure vibes. And to this day, lots of the dudes that were younger than me, actually, that were playing ball, are now such phenomenal athletes and also such phenomenal young men, and there's phenomenal young women as well who I get now to see them, you know, with their own businesses, with their own artistic ventures. You know, Kevin Alcalde's, the team from Ocha, the Toulouse, you know what I mean? Like, and like the France Bernil, just seeing France like screaming at people from a kitchen setting and not a basketball court setting from like the position that he usually plays. It was just like, you've kind of always been, this has been your calling, like to be a leader and to be able to get the job done. It's like, so it's interesting how we talk about like being these jack of all trades and all these experiences, and how sometimes it feels like you're like this frayed thread, but then the thread does come back together. It all braids back in again into like exactly who you are, kind of vibe.
Well, I would just say it's like when you were saying how like weekday, hang out with the bros and weekend with the culture, it's like it almost feels like, during Sunday we have to go to the church and then that's where you meet everyone else, right? But in your situation, this is really, doing what other Filipino boys doing at Uptown at the moment, playing basketball and such. And I just want to take a moment as well to say how, people who's going to be listening to us, and especially the youth listening to your stories, that is planting seeds for them, that like I can do this and I can do that because Kuya Joseph is saying this, right? So my question to you would be the fact that you were talking about you're the Chinese in the Italians and they just couldn't care, and my background is political science, so I was like, that moment where we're visible but we're invisibilized, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, do you not know how many times there is a Filipino touch in whatever you're doing right now? No, but I will tell you now, right? So my question to you, knowing the fact that you talk about World Cup, and the Filipinas actually was in the World Cup for the first time and made a lot of noise. But there was a lot of backlash as well, especially from the diaspora, because they're not Filipino enough, right? They don't look like me. So for you, Joseph, in what ways you were told you weren't Filipino enough?
Oh man, come on now. You know, that was like a big part of my own personality now, and where I'm very much laissez-faire. I'm very much like, you know, you always see like the meme, or when people like to post like the inspirational quote, like, you know, if you do good, they're gonna talk about you. You do bad, they're gonna talk about you. So just do everything that you're gonna do anyways, and just let them talk, kind of thing. And that's been it. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny in a sense. where it's something that almost you need to work out on your own terms, because it's never been really something that anyone's ever said to me. It's always been a sentiment that I felt within myself, of being like, oh man, like I'm not Filipino enough, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough. And after enough time on this planet, that you just come to learn, when you find this like self-love, is that no matter what happens, you're enough. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And there's no real measuring stick for that. But it was tough, man, growing up being like the white kid on all the basketball teams. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you almost feel like you're looked at like a narc or something, you know what I mean? Like, or like another part of it is like being like a culture vulture, you know what I mean? Like just being like,
Mm.
oh, you're not even from here. She doesn't even go here. You know what I mean? Kind of vibe, like, and just really, there are moments and things that happen where where I feel like, okay, this is me being included in the picture. But a lot of the times it had to be with me being like, you know what, like it's not just because you don't speak and understand Tagalog, just because you're not as melanin kissed as your brothers and sisters, just because you're born in Canada, you know, in some points in time of my life, you know, especially when I was like gallivanting off and doing the metalcore and the playing more metal stuff, you know what I mean? You feel like, man, am I like turning my back on my Filipino roots playing metal music, which is ridiculous because like so many phenomenal metal musicians are Filipino as well. It's like obviously anybody can do anything, but that was really, I think, when it comes down to not being Filipino enough, I feel like you can blame all the external factors as much as you want, but once you start to really understand the way that you let things affect you, that becomes the biggest power, your biggest superpower itself. And then also knowing yourself and knowing how to see yourself, and what you feel is the most accurate and most true version of you to you, and then just going out and like putting that out there with the world. So that's been it. I don't know if I actually answered your question or not. I feel like I was dancing, but yeah,
It's a big question. It's
it
a
is.
big question. It's
Yeah.
either one, some people would just say a few words, but some people would explain the feeling of it. So I actually would arrive to the last questions because I definitely felt the answer, but maybe it could be like a vulgarise, it could be verbalized. But
Mm.
and I'm not also sure how much you know about the Tagalog word, but what does kapwa mean to you?
So high key, I tried to cheat and do a lot of research, and I realized in doing that there's no exact English translation. So, and I get as well that Kappa is kind of like this connection to roots, connection to ancestry. To me, I think what Kapwa means is like feeling my grandfather after he passed away. He's always part of everything that we do. You know what I mean? It's funny in that we have a family chat, and like even to this day, like sometimes like out of nowhere, someone's just be like, "Miss you, Papa." You know what I mean? And another thing that it reminds me of Capua, I was for a while playing music with Neil Castro, and we had this with Adam Sayo, we had this little like reggae punk trio that we were doing called Isang Bagsak. And that idea of one drop, when we used to do that at shows, be like Isang Bagsak, then everyone would clap. And this idea of unity, this idea of instantaneous like family on the drop. You know what I mean? That's when I try to understand and like try and get that definition for Capwa, and then try to look back on life and where how I felt that those feelings in life. Those are the moments that like kind of define it for me. No one ever taught me how to be silly. Obviously, I picked up different things from my grandfather, from my uncles, from everybody. You know what I mean? But no one teaches you how to have this kind of joie de vivre, that's what I call being like Pinoy. Like it's just like having this kind of like approach to things where it's like anything can be a back cracking laughing time, even if you're like breaking your back working. You know what I mean? There's a way always to bring this light to it, and I feel like that is a connection that I have through my grandfather, that he's connected with all the men and actually everybody in our family, and connection that I still feel with him and to like ancestors to this day. You know what I mean? And I mentioned it as well. I think maybe in our pre conversation when we were talking, but like the last element of Kapwa that I feel is like really, I've been playing music for a very long time in my life, and a big part of, I mean, I'm not making money off music, but I feel like being successful as a musician or an artist is your ability to create, obviously. And for me, I've always been able to go into a studio situation or go into any situation and quickly like create a rhythm or a melody that will end up more or less being what will be the mainstay on the track or on the song or whatnot. And like people are like, man, how do you do that so fast? Or like, how do you freestyle like that? How do you? And it's just like, sometimes like when I'm being the truest and most honest, I'm like, I don't know. It's like the spirits just take over me, and I just like, it's not even me anymore. It's just like I'm saying things that sound so good because it's like they've needed to be said forever, and it's coming straight from the soles of my feet kind of thing. So that's all those three things together kind of give me like that's how I define Kapwa now that I understand it, thanks to you guys actually. So thank you for putting me on as well.
Yep. So as I mentioned, like it's for you, it's more of like a feeling. And when you mentioned how you met Terry, I'm like, that's the spirit of Kapwa right there. You know, when you immediately saw walk in the room and be like, Pinoy, yo, bro, what's up? So that's He's also laughing. But it's really great to have you here, Joseph, in our show. I really hope that a lot of our listeners would feel really, more empowered and feel more grounded to their Filipino identity. Montreal is not a big city. There's also not much Filipino, but as you can see, we're so much more connected than we thought we are. And for those who are still listening to us, you're listening to Radyo Kapwa on CKUT 90.3 FM. This is Veronica. I'm telling you all, mabuhay.
Me with no remedy. I know you're switching it up with no guarantee. I know you'll hit a lane, I text, I wanna agree. I must have feeling of your body next to me. You must be out of your mind to be destiny. What if I could still find it, we're too hard to believe. That I let somebody like you drain my energy. That we had history, cause in every memory you and I can every body, but I can back then used to hold it back in. I could have handled it till this happened. You were lacking every body, but lacking back then used to hold it back in. I could have handled it till this happened. See, I'm on something like I do down on my knees. I won't stop until you're begging for me, please. I can stop until you're manifesting me. I can stop until I'm substitute to the air that you breathe. Everything's reminding me of how we used to be. I know your favorite movie, watch it till we fall asleep. And every morning wake up to your body tapping me. You be doing sneaky shit you thought I wouldn't see. I can every body, but I can back then used to hold it back in. I could have handled it till this happened. You were lacking every body, but lacking back then used to hold it back in. I could have handled it till this happened. Sick of my past, I try to be your last, but I love so don't react. Like I'm feeling I'm too tired. Wanna hear you say or repeat. I say not even to me. Maybe I gave the best of me.
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jan Marvin Reyes. I am a youth leader and community organizer here bringing you important news back home in the Philippines. The article is from Rappler with the title, Philippines Michelle D concludes Miss Universe 2023 journey in top 10. Philippine bet Michelle D ended her Miss Universe 2023 journey in the top 10 during the pageant's finals nights in El Salvador on Sunday, November 19. The 28-year-old beauty queen from Makati was the sixth candidate to be called for the top 10, but failed to make it to the top 5 of the pageant. With D placing the pageant's top 10, the Philippines is back into the semi-final round after last year's pageant marked the country's first early exit since 2010. D was also one of the gold winners for the pageant's Voice for Change category along with candidates from Angola and Puerto Rico, and D's entry focuses on autism acceptance, inclusivity, and empowerment. The Philippines is home for 4 Miss Universe winners, including Gloria Diaz in 1969, Margie Moran in 1973, Pia Wurtzbach in 2015, and Catriona Gray in 2018. The article was published on November 19, 2023. Thank you so much for listening. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig. Once again, this is John Marvin Reyes delivering you Philippine news from abroad.
Okay, you drop that ass for me. I've been waiting on you all day. Hot and sexy, ready for me. I hope you feel the same when I say I need all of you right now. Today, my love, ole, bonita, baby. I wake up, I get paid. I dress well, I'm in shape. You match me in my ways. Got a Birkin every color from mine to Sunday. Like rain, cell phone rain. Oh, baby, I'm on my way. She fell below my waist, and she said she wanna ride it. That Julio drink is smoking exotic. If you get any ride the way she moving, looking hypnotic. So baby, drop that ass for me. Drop that ass for me. I've been waiting on you all day. Hot and sexy, ready for me. I hope you feel the same when I say I need all of you right now. Today, my love, ole, bonita, baby. Just hit my line and I will be on the road to you for sure. My mind been on you, I can't get you off it. I've lost it. Oh yeah, I've been waiting on someone like you to change the game, so I'm sliding. Gotta get right behind it. Now she feeling all my shit, and I can tell that she wanna ride it. Now so drink it, smoke it, exotic. If you get any riding, the way she moving looks so hypnotic. So baby, drop that ass for me. Drop that ass for me. I've been waiting on you all day. Hot and sexy, ready for me. I hope you feel the same when I say I need all of you right now. Today, my love, ole, bonita, baby. Yeah, you drop that ass for me. I've been waiting on you all day. Hot and sexy, ready for me. I hope you feel the same when I say I need all of you right now. Today, my love, ole, bonita, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Way better. I know I'm independent, but I think I need ya. Kayang mag-isa pero mas gusto with ya. Parang mababaliw when I don't get to see ya. Sana'y nang di umasa, but ang gusto with ya. I'm independent, but I think I need ya. Kayang mag-isa pero mas gusto with ya. Parang turn it from 240 to 1080. Pagdadalawang isip ko ay nag-180. Yeah. Gusto ka lang makasama kahit na abot umaga. Di mawawala ng gana, ikaw lang ang nakikita. My definition of vision, no I ain't into submission, but that can still be a mission. Forgetting all of my cards and selling, but I think I need ya. Kayang mag-isa pero mas gusto with ya. Parang mapabaliw and I don't get to see ya. Sana'y nang di umasa but ang gusto with ya. I'm independent but I think I need ya. Kayang mag-isa pero mas gusto with ya. Parang mapabaliw and I don't get to see ya. Sana'y nang di umasa but ang gusto with ya. Baby, go speak your mind. There's so much things to find. I wanna know just what you like and nah, nah, nah. Sana'y nang mag-isa pero masasaya. Kung lagi kang magkakasama, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Never thought about a day that I've been needing more of this feeling. I can't hide it to you anymore. The way you look, the way you move, you're heating up the floor. Baby, you got that something special knocking on my door. Ooh, oh. Baby, I know, no, I can't control. Stop teasing me. No, I ain't playing games. Ain't no playing games. See, I just wanna let you know that I don't wanna see you go. Go ahead and leave me hanging, wishing, yearning for some more. I don't wanna lie, gusto mahawakan palagi mga kamay. Yeah. Kung magkasama ka, di ko na mahihintay, so I should go. I should go to you. Baby, I know, no, I can't control. Stop teasing me. No, I ain't playing games. Ain't no playing games. Lately I can't go to sleep, thinking about you and I, but honestly, baby, you're my remedy for all the pain that's hurting me. Oh, baby, I know, no, I can't control. Hey. No, I can't. No, I ain't playing. No, baby, I know. Ooh, I can't control. Get hold of the sweet of me. Stop teasing me. Yeah.
Ano ba ang tawag sa di ko nga syota? Pero kayakap ko naman sa gabi. Nagtatawanan, nagiinuman. Ibang-iba kung tayo'y magkatabi. Matagal na magkaibigan, but ayaw niya pang labo, isa lang ang klaro. Sa'yo na ako. Daming nag-aakala hindi nga magsyota, pero kung makatext, kala mo naman tawag ng tawag kasi merong problema. Alas 3 na pero papunta na. Ang tagal na nating kaibigan, but ayaw mo pang makibigan. Di naman kailangang gawaan. Eto ako sa'yo. Hiliw mo ka bagong di kasugal-sugal. Hiliw, hindi mo ba ko papanindigan? Ano pa bang hanap mo? Sabihin mo lang kakasahid ka lang, magsabi ka lang. Aamin ako, hindi pa tayo ang labo-labo, isa lang ang klaro. Sa'yo na ako. Wala kasing bawal, takot sigurong sumugal. Unang mahulog italo, sa'yo sa may halong laro. Aamin ako, hindi pa tayo ang labo-labo, isa lang ang klaro. Sa'yo na ako.
Babalik ka rin, bali-balik ta rin man ang oras ang baso. Nakakasawa na, paulit-ulit na, sumasakit ang ulo ko sa'yo. Habang uupo, magbababad na lang sa telepono. Ubus na ang pansin, hindi pa rin ako kikibo. Bakit nasasabik na bumalik at makasamang muli, makan at mayakap ka ng maipin? Ilang gabi na rin laging gising at di na mapakaling, tabihan at kumutan ka sa pag-ibig. Babalik ka rin, bali-balik ta rin man ang oras ang baso, aatras ang kalendaryo. Babalik ka rin, Sumakit ang ulo ko sa'yo. Kung ika'y magiging akin, di ka na muling luluha pa. Pangakong di ka lolokohin ng puso kong nagmamahal. Kung ako ay papalari na ako'y iyong mahal na rin, pangakong ikaw lang ang iibigin magpakailanman. Di kita pipilitin, sundin mo ba ang iyong damdamin? Hayaan na lang tumibok ang puso mo para sa akin. Ako ay mamalasin at meron ka ng ibang mahal, ngunit patuloy ang aking pag-ibig magpakailanman. Di kita pipilitin, sundin mo pa ang iyong damdamin. Hayaan na lang tumibok ang puso mo para sa akin. Di kita pipilitin, sundin mo ba ang iyong damdamin? Hayaan na lang tumibok ang puso mo. Hindi kita pipilitin, sundin mo ba ang iyong damdamin? Hayaan na lang tumibok ang puso mo para sa akin. Para sa akin.
Bakit ba ako nalilito? Kung saan-saan humihinto para lang makita mo ako. Naghihintay lang para sa'yo. Ikaw lang ang laman ng aking puso. Lagi kang tumatakbo sa isip ko. Di na makatulog sa gabi. sino ang pinupantong. Wala nang mas magmamahal sa'yo, at ang puso kong ito'y para sa'yo. Ilan kayang bituin ang bibilangin ko para sa'yo? Ilan kayang mundo ang lilibutin ko, makita lang na ako ay totoo. Pakisabi na lang sa kanya na wala nang masahalaga. Pakisabi na lang sa kanya na wala nang masasaya pa. Pakisabi na lang sa kanya na mahal ko siya. Nandito lang naman ako. Nagdarama mo ba itong pag-ibig ko? Pakisabi na lang sa kanya na wala nang masahalaga. Pakisabi na lang sa kanya na wala nang masasaya pa. Pakisabi na lang sa kanya na mahal ko siya. Pakisabi na lang sa kanya na wala nang masahalaga. Pakisabi na lang sa kanya na wala nang masasaya pa. Pakisabi na lang sa kanya na mahal ko siya. Na mahal ko siya.
Hello! Tao po! Did you enjoy the music? You may find them on our CKUT webpage. That is ckut.ca/playlists/ry within a week of the episode. And we are always open for requests via our Instagram page at Radyo Kapwa, spelt as RADYOKAPWA. That being said, welcome to our regularly scheduled programming. That is this week's community announcements. First up, the support market will showcase the talents of artists from the Southwest Asian and North African regions, also known as SWANA, who are uniting to raise funds for Palestine. It will take place on November 24th, 2023 from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Le Frigo Vert, situated at 1440 McKay Street. This event is organized by the dedicated individuals Fatouche and Shatila and hosted by MFF. You may find information on Instagram pages Le Frigo Vert, spelt as LEFRIGOVERT, and Fatouche, FATTOOSH, as well as Shatila, SCHATILA. Also on November 24th, but from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., Filipinos of Montreal is organizing a holiday tindahan and more, including a parole workshop facilitated by Centre Kapwa member Diane Louise Nardo. It will take place at Café Vigier, and FOM was also looking for Filipino vendors for the event with limited spots. So to reach out or for more information, please check out FOM's Instagram page at Filipinos of Montreal, spelt as FILIPINOSOFMONTREAL. On November 25th, Centre Kapwa is holding its monthly Kapwa Walk. For this month's walk, we are going to explore Little Italy. Please stay tuned for the details on Centre Kapwa's Instagram page at Centre Kapwa, spelled as CENTREKAPWA. On the very same day, November 25th, Brique par Brique is proud to hold space for healing in community through music and to present Tanya Iyer with the workshop Learn to Write Songs with Emotions. Don't miss this opportunity to learn and grow by checking out their Instagram page, Brique x Brique, spelled as BRIQUE XBRIQUE, and registering through the link in their bio. On the following day, Sunday, November 26th, Centre Kapwa member Alan Matudio will be present at Salon des Livres at Espace Côte des Neiges from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. He will present Transformer nos vécus en récits de bande dessinée. He will also run an activity with the crowd as well as present projects he made in collaboration with some community organizations. For more information, please check out his Instagram page at Alan Matudio, spelled as ALLANMATUDIO, and at CDN_NDG. And last but not least, in current ongoing activities from November 9th to December 7th, the Head and Hands Counseling Program is hosting a 5-week support group for neurodivergent youth. This space will be facilitated by Noah of Alter Ego, who will hold space for conversations surrounding your personal experiences, provide some helpful psychoeducation when needed, and encourage skill sharing. If this interests you, please make sure to confirm your presence by visiting their Instagram page at head_and_hands, spelt as HEAD_AND_HANDS. P.S. This group will be open to new arrivals throughout the entirety of the 5 weeks. Participation is completely free, and snacks plus STM bus/metro fare tickets will be provided each evening. Thank you all so much for tuning in to another episode of Radyo Kapwa. This has been Laura, wishing you all a warm and bundled up rest of your afternoons as the weather gets colder. Mabuhay, y'all!
Liberation for one is liberation for us all. Tuloy ang laban.